All right, welcome back to Orlando Out of Context. I'm Brian.
And I'm Stephanie.
And it's been a long time since
It's been a minute.
had a conversation and had a podcast in this format.
Yeah, it's been a while since we sat down and just chit-chatted. Our last episode was with Steve, which we did a Zoom. So
yeah, we did a few Zoom.
We did a few Zooms in a row.
Yeah, they were fine. They were okay. Not how we originally thought we'd want to do this, but we're
doing a lot of things these days we never wanted to do.
Yeah. So, but also I think we've learned a lot in the fact that, you know, we have to kind of be flexible and, you know.
Every single day things are changing, and we just got to roll with it.
So we're still like, I don't know, we kind of have half our part of our bodies are still in quarantine and part of them aren't because things are opening here in Orlando, so we have done stuff.
I like to keep my upper half in quarantine and then my lower half can do the living.
Wow. So we've seen the parks reopening. We've been to the parks. Stephanie and I went to the Magic Kingdom when it reopened for pass holder preview, and it was a good experience, minus the fact that it was super hot.
Oh my gosh, it was so hot that day.
And then adding a mask on top of that, it's extremely hot. So
I think it's cooled down a bit. I feel like this week has been like manageable.
The evenings, but not the daytimes.
Yeah.
I think the mornings and the evenings this week have been decent. And that's why I wish that what Disney would do, they would open at like 2 p.m. and stay open till like 11 at night.
Yeah, that would be super nice.
That would be ideal, because who wants to be in the middle of the heat? Disney has control over what they do, obviously. I mean, open at nighttime.
And, you know, the park has such a lovely, I don't know, soul to it when it's nighttime. All the lights blinking and, you know.
An atmosphere.
The atmosphere is much nicer in the evening.
But that would be my recommendation, is at least have one of your parks open early in the afternoon and close later in the evening. And
I think they've been playing around with hours like in the past month, right?
So they've reduced their hours from when they originally opened. So they're reducing Epcot to close at 7 during the month of September, which I think is too early because the sun is still up. It would be nice to go when the sun is down and at least setting, so you don't have to deal with the heat of August, because it's really hot. There's a reason why we normally don't go to the parks during this time, and I've rediscovered that reason.
That's for sure.
So the parks are open. Universal's open. We're recording this on what day of the week is? It's a Sunday. It's August 15th. Today I was at Universal.
No, today's Saturday.
Excuse me, Saturday, August 15th.
Because it's not 90 Day Fiancé Day.
Correct. It's not yet. That's tomorrow. But I was at Universal today, and when I went back in June, it was a nice, calm experience. Today it was crowded. There was a line of cars to get into the car plaza to pay their parking fee, and then it was.
And you said how many minutes wait for the train?
105 minutes to ride
Lordy.
Hogwarts
but
Express.
That could be because of social distancing rules, as far as because it's an enclosed.
Yeah, it is.
ride.
You get your own car, I think, during quarantine. Like you get your own little cabin, because that train is broken up into cabins. So. Anyway, but the parks are opening at Universal. I think that maybe they should go to a reservation system. There was too many people there, in my opinion. It was a little too much.
I wonder if they just have maybe not a reservation system, but like kind of a counter. Like, you know how at Disney, the duty manager always knows what the in-park is.
I just don't think that they're willing to turn people away, even though they were turning people away for Aquatica, because they did have a sign as people were driving in that Aquatica hit capacity. So,
and it could be because, if you saw on our TikTok that Universal released a deal this week for buy one day, 2 park, and you get entry till December 24th.
Correct. And they had a booth as you left. They had a booth I think
get a pass.
advertising that. They had some kind of get a 4-month pass, upgrade to a 4-month pass. So I don't know what the upgrade was. I don't really know. But they had a booth trying to get people to sign up for that as you left. But anyway, as we talk about, that's all I really want to talk about, the parks. Parks are open. I feel very safe in the parks, especially Disney. Disney's really doing a primo job, and I'm probably going to have a rude awakening when things are back to normal. And I'm like, ooh, all these people around.
Because we were like that before. Like, on a normal basis, we don't like to be around a lot of people. So being in this social distancing world is so refreshing.
It's really nice. It's nice to be in the social distancing world. Anyway, so you mentioned TikTok, so we can talk about TikTok. We're on TikTok now.
Yeah, we're on the TikToks, and it's very rewarding. There's people out there who want to know about Orlando, and they're hungry for the information.
It's so much more rewarding than Instagram. We struggled to get where we were in terms of, getting people to learn about the podcast. That's the main reason why to be on social media for us is to get people to, learn about the podcast, want to listen in and tune in.
Yeah.
We haven't really focused on that much on TikTok. We've just been generating content. It's like a new way to get content from us.
But I think it's a good platform for the things that we do, because what we do is like run down, restaurants, places, tips, and having a place where you can do a 1-minute format of a video. It's just like a quick commercial for anything. And that's basically what we like to do, is create, little commercials for the highlights of Orlando.
Right.
So I think the way that TikTok is laid out, it's the perfect way for us to get our content.
So make sure you follow us on Orlando, on TikTok at Orlando Out of Context, same as you would follow us on Instagram. Hopefully TikTok survives, and it's not shut down, and hopefully they figure it out. But it's been fun. It's kind of a creative outlet to do some different stuff, and share the good things that are happening in Orlando in a different way. So and we're posting a lot of our TikToks we post on Instagram. So if you follow us on Instagram, that's great. You're going to see a lot of what we post, but there are some things that we don't post on Instagram that are on TikTok. That we feel that don't really belong on Instagram. So make sure you if you don't have TikTok, consider downloading it. I mean, it is a little addictive. It's probably a lot addictive.
Be ready to sit for hours on end, just swiping through.
Yep, exactly. But so that's something we've been doing and we were consuming TikTok, I think, in the beginning of quarantine.
And I begged you to do TikToks with me, and you wouldn't. But then all of a sudden, you got to bug up your ass to do TikTok.
Well, sometimes it takes time. And, sometimes I don't know how I want to approach something, and I figured out how I want to approach it, and now I'm doing it.
And then he approached it without me.
Well, to each his own. So, yeah, I started TikTok first, and then I was like, we should do this for Orlando Out of Context. And so we did it. And we're like over 10,000 followers now.
And right now we're actually doing a TikTok live while we're recording this. So if you already follow us, maybe you watch this. I don't know, but
there's a few people watching. Hey, everyone on TikTok, say hello if you're watching. There's a few people watching, it looks like, on Orlando Out of Context. So if you're watching on TikTok, this is being recorded on Saturday, August 15th, and it will premiere on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you consume your podcasts. It'll premiere on Wednesday. So make sure you check it out on wherever you consume your podcast, basically. So, yeah. We went to Island Grove Wine Company in Kissimmee a few weekends ago, which is someplace that I had heard about, and I told Steph, hey, there's a winery out there. I don't know, you might have heard about it from somebody else too. But so I was kind of curious because I've heard about it over the last year or two. And we went a few weekends ago, and it was a nice experience. It's a nice little diversion to kind of, change things up a little bit.
I loved it. I really didn't have any expectations because, You know, you and I have been to Napa in California and done wine tastings there and seen all the big wineries out in California. So I wasn't sure what to think about a winery here in Florida. But it was awesome. It was beautiful. They have a really nice event space there if you want to have. We posted a TikTok about it. We got a lot of people saying that they either had their wedding there or they're going to be looking forward to having their wedding there.
Yeah.
Everyone had great things to say about it.
It's pretty nice. It's newer. It's definitely newer construction, and they actually do have they have some vines there. They have some vineyards there, actually grapes growing there. And it's good. They have a nice bar area. They do have a food menu there. You can do tastings similar to the wine room in Winter Park, where you load up the card and you go to the machines and they auto dispense the samples. So it's great, and the food was good too.
The food was really great. We had pretzel bites with beer cheese, and then you ordered a cheese platter.
Mm-hmm.
And
some of
the cheese there was, he said, house made, right?
The soft cheese was house made, and it was good. Saturdays are sangria Saturdays, and the sangria was like $5. It was pretty good. Now their wines, I would say, are on the sweeter side, and they're not like sophisticated.
I think that's why I really
wines.
liked it.
That's why Stephanie really liked it. But I thought it was good. I think it's a great experience.
Because a lot of the tastings were pretty cheap. So the way the machine works is you get a tasting, a half glass, or a glass. So I don't think I saw anything like maybe above $2. Everything that I tasted was like $1.80 some for a tasting. Yeah.
So if you're like in the Kissimmee area, it's in Kissimmee off of 192. So if you're in the area, you live in that area, or if you want to take like a quarter day trip, it's an easy quarter day trip if you're in the Central Florida area, just to come down here and try it out. Or if you're staying like at Disney and you're doing Disney and you want, on your pool day, you want to have kind of an excursion or something like that.
There's a lot of Airbnbs back in that area too. Yeah. If you're staying back there.
So we highly recommend the Island Grove Wine Company in Kissimmee. It's just off Formosa Gardens, right next to Margaritaville, which is another place we stopped by. After the wine tasting or our time there at the winery, we went over to Sunset Walk, which is right in front of Margaritaville. They've really done a nice job of developing Margaritaville and the area in front of it. And we stopped at Café d'Evian. I think that's how you pronounce it. But it's a cafe bakery that comes from, I believe, New York City. So we have a location here now. And what did you think of the croissants?
I thought they were really, really good. They weren't, number one, like you told me after coming back from France, that our true croissant does not bend.
Yeah, there's no curve in a true croissant.
So they didn't bend. And they were just very flaky and buttery. Buttery. And chocolate, of course. I love chocolate in my croissants.
Yeah. I wish
I would have gotten two.
I got a plain one, and I didn't eat it that day. I saved it for the next day, and I heated it up in the air fryer. It was perfect.
Ooh, that's why I should have gotten
and
two.
I didn't put it on the high setting of the air fryer. I kind of did a lower setting, and I let it just...
We're newly addicted to the air fryer, too, now. We got an air fryer in quarantine. And
I don't know if we talked about that on the podcast.
Basically, been cooking every single thing imaginable in it.
I bought it. I bought a small one, and because I bought a small one, thinking, well, I want to be able to store it, because I'm the type of person that doesn't like a lot of things out on the counter. With our kitchen, we have to because there's not a lot of cabinet storage space. So I thought, let me get the smallest one, so when we're not using it, we can put it under. But that thing has not been ever put away. Because we use it almost every day.
I don't even think we use the oven that much anymore.
No, we don't use the oven much because we use the air fryer.
And it just makes everything taste better.
It's so good. I don't know. I didn't believe the hype around it until I went over to a friend's house, and they served me stuff from the air fryer, and I was like, oh, this is good. And so I was like, I gotta get one. I gotta have this.
We've made brownies, cupcakes, bacon. You made salmon.
I do salmon in it.
Chicken
I do
nuggets,
chicken. I
French
do raw
fries.
chicken in there.
It's really great to reheat leftovers. Like, sometimes there's that stuff you get from maybe Ale House or like, kind of like fried food that is going to taste like trash if you reheat it. But
you heat up the Hungry Pants Collie Tots.
I love getting Collie Tots. And usually I'm always at work when Brian goes to Hungry Pants, so he'll bring me home Collie Tots. And then if I just pop those in the air fryer, they're just as good as
like
when they're served.
Yeah. And I think Joey and Alex are kind of like, at least Joey was like, really?
You told him?
Yeah. And I was like, yes, it tastes just as good. I don't know if they have an air fryer. So I
bet they wouldn't have a air fryer.
But they should. I told them you need to get one.
People that are like, because they're like really into cooking.
But an air fryer is, it's legit. An air fryer is legit.
What's going on over there on TikTok? I can't see what's going on because I'm far from the screen.
Something, I don't know. We'll read it later. I can't read it. Something about because you're the best, keep on your content. Don't let nobody stop you.
That's right. We going to the top.
Thank you, Jaden.
5 stars on Apple Podcasts.
I think that's Jaden. Who is that? Jaden. I think that's what it is. But they're so far away right now, I can hardly read it. Thanks, Jaden. Let's see. I've went to the Robinson Coffee Room a few weeks ago, which is downtown, which is the Robinson Room has been there. And then downstairs below the Robinson, they put a coffee room, and it's big.
It looks big. I didn't get to go, but watching your footage, it looked like there were a lot of little different areas to sit in.
There's different little areas to sit, and it's substantial in size.
It looks peaceful, too. I like the vibes in there. It
just
looks calming.
It's a good, peaceful vibe. There's a little fountain as you enter, and it's very...
I would say it's minimalistic, but it's stylish.
It's kind of chic.
Not a lot of clutter. It's nice.
Yeah, I don't know what style I would put it in, but it doesn't have a California vibe.
So do they have anything I would drink other than coffee?
Yeah, they probably might have something. I was there kind of around 9:30, and I felt like their brunch selection could have been better. They had avocado toast, which I can't do avocado toast because I have a reaction to avocado. And then I had the ricotta and jelly, which was fine. And then they might have had maybe one breakfast sandwich.
So what do you put that on crackers or toast? Or
no,
what?
It was like toast, and then it was toast, then the ricotta, then the jelly. It's all prepared for you, and it was good. It was good. And then I had a matcha with pink whipped cream on top.
Oh, I like cute. Pink whipped cream.
It was cute. I think I would go back to the Robinson. I think I would go back. Maybe I would go for lunch. So I just thought there was going to be more options for breakfast.
We did have some people comment that they tried going and really couldn't find anywhere to sit because of social distancing. So we're guessing maybe it gets a little bit busier during the day because you went super early in the morning. So just be aware of that if you are planning to go.
Jake Fraser is on Instagram. He says, love this. Thank you. Appreciate that. Make sure you guys tune in to Orlando Out of Context on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Follow us on there. We'd love that. So the other thing on my list here, and these are in no particular order because I was just going through, maybe they are in some kind of order a little bit because I was going through my phone pictures. That's how sometimes when we're
spark our memories.
When we're sitting down to do a podcast and we're like, what are we going to talk about? I go through my pictures and see everything. So the next thing on my list is Gods and Monsters, which is the comic book store in Orlando here.
This is a hidden gem, okay? I don't like anything that's like comic books. I don't like really
Stephanie's
anything.
not like a fangirl.
I don't care anything about any of that. But I was highly impressed.
It's nice.
I love anyone who anyone who's obsessed with anything. I can respect that. And this place has a little bit of everything. It's nice and clean. We spoke with the owner. He was really nice.
And we might do a whole podcast episode
we talked
with
to him
him
about doing a podcast.
So we might have a whole Gods and Monsters podcast. I would like to learn more about them, the owners, and how they started it. And Gods and Monsters used to be in Artigun, and they used to fill a huge space.
He told us
Artigun.
they used to do mud wrestling.
Yeah. I didn't know that. But it was a huge space. It was very well themed. And this new space is much smaller than the original space they had at Artigan. But in the back, they have like a kind of hidden bar.
And it is amazing. I mean, this is where my interest really peaked because I felt that it was more like, I don't know, it kind of sparks the interest of someone who's into scary, like horror movies, like weird. Like there were some things that were not really comic book related back there. Like some
it was a
kind
little
of
bit
scary
more
things, which I'm into that horror, like scary genre. They had like a big, that movie, The Alien?
Mm-hmm.
They had one of those figurines up
It looked
there.
like it had come from the Great Movie Ride.
Yeah. And they have table games like Pac-Man.
Mm-hmm.
They have
they had a Tron table game.
Some consoles where you can play. And they have like a ton of beer. When they're serving beer, they had a huge list. I was shocked at, honestly, the amount of beers that they carry.
So
there.
unfortunately, they're not serving right now during COVID because of the laws. But they do have, if you go during COVID, obviously you want to wear your mask and respect the rules of the store. But you can go. He has it opened, so you can go back there and check it out. But they aren't serving alcohol at the moment. So just be aware of that if you head that way.
But honestly, though, this space really does have a nice outdoor space. So as you're entering, it's kind of like in a kind of a strip of other stores, but there's sort of a courtyard
An enclosed
in the front, an enclosed courtyard, and they have large tables set up there where you could play like board games.
Honestly, the owner of this strip mall really could do more.
Yeah.
If they could do more and make it nicer.
If they put some like food spots, if like a really dope restaurant went in next door, they could have some really nice events because they could make money off each other.
Honestly, it's a great idea if a restaurant, like, you know how we have the Supasan themed restaurant? It would be nice if a themed restaurant went in there knowing that Gods and Monsters is right there, and then they collaborated together to do events and to do special themed nights.
That would be awesome.
And then you could take over that courtyard because right next door, there's also a record store next door to Gods and Monsters. So if you haven't been to Gods and Monsters, you definitely need to check it out. It's it's right on International Drive. It's kind of in the Little Brazil area. It's not far from the outlets, the International Drive outlets. Not the Vineland outlets, but the International Drive outlets. So definitely don't miss Gods and Monsters and Vault 5421. So the next thing on my list, the next two things on my list are things that I've done. So one of them being Southern Contemporary, or SoCo, which our friend really, Kundin, wanted to do brunch, and she suggested this place. And I had always seen SoCo on, like, I don't know if they're on Byte 30, but they're on the Magical Dining, I think, and they're always on a lot of lists because I recognize their logo, and it's short. They call themselves SoCo too, but the full name is Southern Contemporary, and it's really good. Everything I tasted was really good. I got the chicken and dumplings, and it was chicken over with some kind of sauce over lobster dumplings, and it was so savory.
Lobster dumplings?
It was so savory and tasty. It was delicious. I recommend that. And then Kundin got the chicken and French toast.
And that's a combo you don't see.
Yeah, normally it's chicken and waffles, but it was kind of cool. I did have a bite of it, and it was delicious. Very good. And then for my entree, I had salmon and potato cakes. And
so the dumplings was
an appetizer.
Oh, okay.
I was feeling a little extra that day. Because I haven't been to so many fine dining. I don't know if I would call SoCo fine dining.
You've been eating takeout for so damn long.
Yeah, and cooking here. I was like, well, because I wanted to try stuff.
Yeah.
I wanted to, try stuff and
full experience.
Yeah. They have $15 endless mimosas.
Did you do that too?
Oh yeah, I did that. And whatever sparkling wine that they have for their mimosas is very good. It's not chintzy cheap wine. It's good.
So it didn't
stuff.
leave you with a headache for the rest of the day?
It did not, and it was
Good.
just crisp and refreshing. It did not taste like cheap. And
So tell me a little more about your experience with that. Did they bring you a carafe? Did they, how sometimes when you get endless drinks, they kind of try to slow you down?
They didn't slow me down, no. And I'm trying to remember if they brought carafes. I think that basically because of COVID, anything I asked for, they probably would have done. Because they were just happy I was
there. Should have been
I'll
give me 3 bottles of champagne and a whole carafe of orange juice.
But I didn't do any planning. I let Kundens tell me where to go, basically. And I didn't do any research or planning. But
so where's SoCo located
It's right by Lake Eola in kind of the Thornton Park area.
Okay.
So it's best if you get a reservation. And if I had done the planning, I would have made sure that we had a reservation. But Kunden didn't get a reservation or anything. So luckily we were there right before they opened. And we were able to secure a table. So, but I would recommend that you get a reservation before going, especially if you're going to be in a larger party size. Get a reservation. But I would definitely go there with you. I would take other people there. If you haven't been, it's not a new place, but if you're looking for a new place and you haven't been there, definitely check out Southern Contemporary. It's worth it for brunch. So the next thing I have on my list is the Polite Pig, which is at Disney Springs. One night I think I wanted to just walk around.
That was your first time eating Polite Pig?
Yeah, it was my first time eating Polite Pig. Because whenever I walk by Polite Pig, I'm like, oh, it's kind of expensive.
It's very expensive.
And so I decided to be like, okay, I decided I was going to, just bite the bullet and try it. So the Polite Pig is done by the Ravenous Pig, which is in Winter Park, which I have been there, and it's very good. So I wasn't too much in doubt that it was going to be good here as well, and it was good. So I brought it home.
I ate there one time on a date.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
What did you have?
I believe I had chicken and mac and cheese.
And what did you think?
I thought it was good. I just feel like it was a little overpriced. I think that because of the things that I wanted to eat, I had to purchase sides. So basically everything is like sides, but they do have some meals, I think. Mm-hmm. But because nothing I wanted fit within a meal, I had to buy the sides. So
Gotcha.
I think that made it a little bit more expensive.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think that, it's a higher price tag, but I think it's worth it because, it is the Ravenous Pig, basically, and, it's worth it. Ravenous Pig is more fine dining, I would say, to some extent. It's finer dining. So I get it.
It smells good. I mean,
And
like
it's
when
good.
you park there in the
Lime Garage.
in the Lime Garage, you can smell it like
Yeah.
as you're coming down the escalator.
It's good.
They were carrying Gideon's cookies there for a while. I don't know.
They were.
I think they were getting a very limited stock, and I tried going to get
If you
some, and
went
they were
later
always
in the
sold
day,
out.
yeah, if you went later in the day on a day that they got Gideon's, they would pretty much be gone. But the nice thing now is that we haven't talked about this, I don't think, on the podcast, is that Disney Springs is getting a Gideon's.
Yes.
So they're getting their first flagship store, and it's going to be right here at Disney Springs.
I'm excited to see small businesses coming into like that tourist area as opposed to these larger
and
chains.
It's going into a place
prime location. I think.
Which that location,
a corner spot.
That location has never done well because I think just type of shops that went in nobody cared about.
Yeah.
But it's going right in across from Wine Bar George. I think it's a great location. It's a convenient location just to park at Lime Garage and walk straight over there. And if you needed to pick up Gideon's, they are going to have cakes as well there. And I think that they're going to. I know they've hired on a new chef. I think they're probably going to have specialty things as well.
I think they hired the chef from the pharmacy if I'm not
I
mistaken.
think you did tell me that.
I was reading that online.
So that's exciting that the Gideon's is coming. Gideon's is good. It's really good, I think. The cookies
The
are
only
huge.
cookie that I've had was the Halloween cookie.
So the pro tip on the cookies, which we've kind of learned from Rosie Roaming Orlando, is Rosie will buy the cookies and then she'll cut them into pieces and then freeze them and then take them out of the freezer as she wants to consume
I think
them.
that's a good, because the cookie is an investment at the price point of this
Yes.
cookie. It's an investment. And, to just space out your caloric intake, you definitely don't want to eat this cookie in one sitting, for sure.
Right. Yeah, don't eat the whole cookie. And their cake is good too. I have had their cake.
What cake? What kind of cakes do they have?
Sometimes they'll mimic whatever their the specialty flavor is of the cookie that month or whatever, or however long they have their specialty cookies running. They will do a cake version of it. So I think they rotate their cake flavors. But I think that when Disney Springs, my guess is that they are going to have that menu where there will be certain things that are always there, and then hopefully they're going to bring in those specialty things, because those specialty things is what
keep the guests coming back.
Yeah, that's Gideon's model right now, is having the specialty cookies. And like Rosie, she's on a mission to eat all of the different flavors as they come out.
I wonder what her list is up to. How many?
I don't know.
They have made, because they do quite a few.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to ask her. I'm sure she has an Excel spreadsheet.
Probably. We need to have her back on the podcast.
We will. We definitely will. So the last thing I have written here on the list is, this is something that you've done and that I want to do, but the timing just hasn't been right yet, and it's all a matter of the movie and stuff. But it's the Lakeland Drive-In movie theater.
Oh yes, the Silver Moon Drive-In, and it's beautiful. I've been twice. And it's just a really nice experience. It's like, I think $6 per adult. And, you can bring your own snacks in with you. But they also have an awesome snack bar that everything is really good prices. Like, super cheap. I think my sister and I got like nachos and popcorn and drinks and candy for like under $20. I'm pretty sure. But check their website, because they've been running like a lot of really good movies. They had, I saw Beetlejuice. They were doing Wizard of Oz, like the original Wizard of Oz. We saw Goonies, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
So I pulled up the website. So this weekend, it won't matter to you, because this episode will have aired after this has happened. But tonight they were playing Shrek 2 and Despicable Me 2, and then on screen 1. And then on screen 2 they're playing Billy Madison and Happy Gilmore. So they're doing Adam Sandler movies. Next week, on the 21st, they are doing, I guess, does it run Friday, Saturday nights?
I'm not really sure. I'm pretty sure they're open 7 days a week. But I don't know the schedule. I think I just check every week, because every week they have 2 new movies.
Gotcha.
On the list.
So it just starts on Friday and then
Yeah.
it goes for that week. Oh, okay, gotcha. Just go to their website. So on the 21st, it starts Spaceballs and the Three Amigos, double feature. And then also on that 21st, the other screen is going to show RoboCop and The Terminator.
They were playing Selena.
That would have been a good one to see. And then this one might be a good one to go see. You might be interested in this one, and I would go see this. Is on the 28th, they have Carrie, and then The Silence of the Lambs.
Yes.
I would see those.
I want to go see like a really scary movie in the dark, in the car. You know.
I like Silence of the Lambs. I've never seen
either
Carrie.
one of those.
Really?
Mm-mm.
You might. I think you might like Silence of the Lambs. It's a thriller, type film. And then the other screen, they're doing. Oh, this is great. They're doing Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, which
is a classic.
Which the new movie of that, I think it's a sequel of that, is coming out to theaters soon. So that's probably why they're showing it. And then along with that movie, they're gonna show Thelma and Louise. So this is a great thing. We've talked about this. I think you and I have talked about this. Maybe not. Maybe it was a live that I had on TikTok, but it would be great for drive-in movie theaters to come back a little bit. Walmart's doing it.
I think it's time to make a comeback.
SeaWorld did it. I was saying the other day, Disney should do it.
Yeah.
Disney has empty, huge parking lots.
Yeah, and I'm sure they have something to set up
all
the events that we do. I'm sure they have something to set up a screen.
That's nothing.
They could literally have like 4 screens.
Imagine that.
You know who's been doing it? Bungalower and the Bus.
So
they've been doing. If you're a part of the Bungalower Buddies program, which I'm not very familiar with. They were doing around town. They were doing it in different spots. Like I know at Ace Cafe they had an event, and they were selling out like crazy. I heard.
I'm sure they were. So was it a drive-in style?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they were going in larger parking lots with a place where they could project the movie and selling the tickets. And because we can't go back to sitting in the movie theater, what better way to social distance and still give. Like, especially all the movies that are just hanging in lurch that should have come out in the theater that didn't get, the chance to make any money.
I did notice today that when I walked into Universal Studios, is it AMC there at the City Walk, or is it? I think it's a Cinemark now. That they were playing older films. They were playing older Indiana Jones films. They were playing the Harry Potter films. So you can go back to some theaters. It's just that the studios aren't pushing their movies out because the new movies out because there's not all theaters are open. People don't want to go back yet. The rules that are in place for social distancing and masks and stuff. So.
But like you talked about on your TikTok about Mulan, Disney Plus is releasing Mulan, but at the charge of $30.
Right.
Now, Disney could release Mulan nationwide to all existing drive-ins and anyone who wanted to create one of these events and charge.
They wouldn't make the money.
And they could make money.
They wouldn't make the money that they want to make.
I mean, SeaWorld, look at SeaWorld. They're doing drive-in events and they're charging $50 per car.
I wonder if they're selling out.
To see Trolls.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think Disney basically, I think the idea, and I don't want to go on a tangent about this too much, but the idea is to get as many people onto Disney Plus and to focus on Disney Plus as possible because that's basically the future now is streaming. So it's just another way to push people onto streaming and so that was the stuff that was on my list. Is there anything else that you can think of that we've done? I feel like we are starting to do a little bit more, kind of, though, it's just.
I don't know. I'm just to the point where I do want to do things, but then at the same time, I don't want to tempt my fate, if you will. Like I don't want to put myself in a place to be around too many people because thank God I have stayed healthy up to this point. Even though I have to go to work and I've gone to work every single day throughout this whole thing, I've stayed healthy because, I work really hard at that. So I kind of don't want to be anywhere that's too many people, but I still do want to go out and experience things. So it's just finding those places that you feel are safe, businesses that are being responsible, and stuff like that.
So there is one more thing I wanted to talk about, and that probably we'll cover on TikTok as well. So the first ever small format Target store is coming to Orlando. It's actually already open.
Oh, so why do they have to test the first one on us?
So because it's progress. So we are getting it actually within walking distance from where we are right now, and it's the first small format because when this was being built, it didn't look like the smallest one ever, but it didn't look like a big one. So it is a small format. It is 65,000 square feet. So it'll feature apparel and accessories for the whole family, home decor and essentials, assortment of health, personal care, beauty products, grab-and-go groceries and fresh produce, adult beverage assortment, Starbucks, CVS pharmacy, and they'll have a order pickup and drive up. And here's some pictures of the store. It looks really nice.
So, the Target over by Florida Mall, that is a small Target. I don't know.
No, that's the old format of Target. So
but I mean, it's smaller. Like, everything there is limited. They don't carry certain things. Even the grocery section is cut by half.
That's like, for me, growing up, that's the Target style that we went to.
Before Super Target
Correct.
was invented?
Before Super Target. So this is where that is very much in the past. This is a full new concept that Target is introducing. And this article says that Target is going to plan to open more small format stores in places where a full-size store may not fit, like urban areas, dense suburban neighborhoods, etc. I think it's a perfect spot because if you have those people that want to get that Target experience, like here, we're kind of in the middle of a few Targets, but not like one, like a throne's throw away. So it's kind of cool that they're doing.
So you said it's open already. When did it open?
Because
that guy told us the 16th.
I believe it opened today. So I think it opened today, which is the 15th.
We should have went over. Just check it out.
I'm going to go tomorrow.
I want to smell the fresh smell.
I'm going to go tomorrow and get some footage of it. And but it looks nice. The pictures look really nice, and it's kind of cool to have something that's a totally new. Well, I mean, it's Target, so it's not totally new, but a new concept right next to us. And we had never seen anything going over there. We had never seen anything like the way it's shaped. So it is actually a new concept in
the Target over there in Winter Garden, at Winter Garden Village, it has a huge portion of the store that isn't even used because, Target used to have a garden department. And, I mean, they haven't for years now, but it's just like this huge... you could put a whole nother business in there, and it's just unused space.
I wonder if they should turn it into a drive-through area for drive-up, pickup,
That would be cool.
Transform it into,
modern-day
the prep
COVID
area.
things.
Yeah. Well, I think that COVID pushes us into a lot of different things, and one of the things is really people ordering their groceries and doing a pickup order, which is great. So, anything else that you want to talk about?
No.
Well, thanks, guys. Sorry it's been so long. This is episode 70, so it's a little bit of a milestone episode. So thanks for joining us. Thanks for, hanging in there. Thanks to everyone on TikTok. I don't think there's too many people. Who's still on TikTok? People are probably tired of us yapping our mouths. But I don't know when we'll be back next time. Maybe in a week, maybe in 2 weeks. We got to build up enough stuff.
Yeah, that's the thing that we are our role. Oh, well, we have some plans for the coming weekend, so hopefully we can talk about that.
Yeah. So, well, until next time, guys. Bye. Follow us on Instagram at Orlando Out of Context. Instagram is where you can connect and interact with us, as well as see photos and videos related to this week's episode.
Make sure you subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, and iHeartRadio.